Hi, good evening. Shall we start? Shall we start? Okay. So, on behalf of Green International, we welcome you all for this QCDD Electrical. And myself, Selvam, I'm your electrical trainer. Already I take classes for UPDA as well the QCDD also. So, I'm working in a private. Okay. Okay. So, I'm working in pre-sales engineer in a private company. So, it's my additional. We are waiting for the, before going to that, we have just. So in general, the QCD, sometimes we, the last pattern, we have because you may have that either you come for a renewal or maybe sometimes you go for a first attempt. Depends upon those who are coming for the renewal means they know about that previous pattern. The previous patterns, in general, we say that 25 questions are there. So out of 25 questions, we have one question is a right side diagram. So we need to draw in the paper, we need to draw the diagram, write the diagram. They mentioned that, for example, G plus 3, we need to write a diagram like that. This is the previous pattern. So the current pattern, we didn't draw any questions. So it's all the objective questions only. So to get the QCDD license, what are the prime requirement? Number one, from the candidate side, we must have a UPDA. So everyone we have that, number one. Number two is related to the company. The company must have in the CR, they must have that fire alarm systems. Then only we can be able to write the exam. So that's hope everyone, your company may have that. Your company CR, they mentioned that. Apart from this, the company at least have one QCD engineer. That engineer may have a grade. Unless otherwise, we are not able to do that. So this is the minimum requirement. So we have a UPDA. It is depends upon our personal things. Then you discuss with your company. I hope you clarify these things. So your company have that fire alarm systems, and your company may have a grade. That's why that is the minimum requirement to appear this QCDD exam. Okay. In general, for the UPDA, if you are submit a document, the exam date we may get minimum 30 to 40 days. But here, if you upload the document, within 10 to 15 days, they call for the exam. And the UPDA is all the documents submitted by us. The candidate submit all the document. For QCDD, all the documents submitted by the company is related to the PRO. So we submit all the documents, they will upload it. It is not related to candidate. Number two, the UPDA, all the expenses we take care. But QCDD is all the expenses done by the company because it's one of the parameters they mentioned in the NFA standard. So to get the license, right now we have that all the minimum requirement we fulfill. So our company PRO submit the document. So they call for that exam within 10 to 15 days. You may have an exam. So usually, once submit the document, we may have received a phone call from the MMU office. That is not MMU, QCDD office. They after 10 to 15 days, they call for over phone. They call you. They ask the number one whether you submit a document. Yes, I submit my document for the QCDD exam. Then they ask the question whether you are aware about that new pattern. Yes, usually we know that, but we didn't told like that. I didn't know that. Okay. Then he told that then the new pattern having 40 questions. The new pattern, they say that we have 40 questions. Note that the QCDD engineer we are divided into two parts. One, construction engineers, another part we have consulting engineers. So most of the engineers are construction wise. That's why we start with the construction. Later on, we come to that consultant. So I hope all you are any consulting engineers, all working in the construction activities. Okay, no. So that's why. So we are belongs to construction engineers. That's why we may have here in our exam we have 40 questions. They ask the question whether you are consultant or construction. So we saw that we are in the construction engineers. That's why he told that we have 40 questions. Then he told that, so out of 40 questions, you have 8 questions from the general topic and 32 questions from the standards. 32 questions from the standards. That is 110, 111, 72. These are we call as a standards, NFE standards. So we have a 32 questions from the NFA standards and 8 questions from the general topic. So what are the general topic? Again, the general questions also related to these standards, but it's a common things. So that's why we have 32 plus 8. Then he told that in the earlier the exam is a 1 hour. Now we have a 2 hours exam. So 40 questions. So 40 questions, 2 hours. And the pass percentage, so minimum we need to get 70%. For UPDA, it's a 50%. Here it's a 70%. We need to get 70%. And UPDA, all the questions carry equal marks. We have 25 questions, 100 marks. Each question is having 4 marks. But nowadays, in UPDA, in the QCDD, we have a 1 mark question, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark. By this way, we have different questions are there. How we know that? For example, if you take the fire alarm riser diagram, in the riser diagram, in the corner, they have some notes are there. And the notes, they mention the battery capacity. In all the riser diagram, they mention the word. They mention the battery capacity, depends upon that riser diagram. Based on the requirement, they have some calculations are there. 1.2 into, they have some mathematical equation, they mention that. That question is having a 4 marks. In our exam, we may have that question also. So that's why we have a different questions are that 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, and 4 mark questions. Okay. So mostly the definition related questions, we have 1 mark and 2 mark. Testing, because we have testing frequency, inspection frequencies, and few problems. Few problems means not a very big problems, not related to the UPDA. We have more problems with data. Here, very few problems. We have some things. So these are related to the 4 marks. So in our exam, we have a 40 questions. 40 questions. Each the questions may have 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 marks. So that's why we need to remember these things. And the important criteria in the QCDD, it's an open book exam. So we use the word open book, but we didn't give the hard copy. So we need to use the PDF file. We need to open the PDF file and we need to search the answers. And important thing, it is not a searchable, because in general in the PDF, what we do by using the Control F, we can be able to search the things. So here we aren't able to the Control F. We need to move here and there. For example, so that we show that. So that's why in this exam we need to refer all the PDF files, all the standards. The standards is nothing but we say that PDF files. Then the overphone, they told that, so you are belongs to UPDA, QCDD electrical. So we need to refer these standards. They mentioned that. Overphone, they told that. So 110, 111, by this way, they mentioned that all the numbers. 111, 110, standard for emergency and standby power systems. And note that usually overphone, they mentioned that the standard and these editions. Because in the earlier, that is the 25 question, the earlier pattern, they refer that 2015 edition or 16 editions. Now they change the editions. Usually in our college days, sometimes in our college they change the regulations. First 5 years they have one regulations. Next is they change the regulations. By this way they change the regulations. So usually in the college days, they change the regulations. What will happen? The professors attend the FTP programs to upgrade their knowledge. Or even though in our office, they change, for example, they introduce a new system in the. So what will happen? All the engineers, they call for that training. So because we need to aware about the new systems. That is the reasons why we go for the, some engineers, they come for the renewal. During the renewal purpose, they change their editions. That's why we need to refer all the things. You need to mandatory attend the exams. So we need to refer these standards. Note, we must know this number and edition. Don't forget that, because if you, due to the curiosity, we go to the Google and you put a NF8 110 and we have the document is gone, we can able to download, but it's a previous edition. That's why you need to check the edition numbers. So in the from the QCDD, they inform these numbers also. So 111, and apart from this, yes sir, welcome. So usually we are in the construction engineers. So if we take the BOQ, in our BOQ we have a, if it belongs to MMUP categories, first we have a plumbing and drainage systems, then we have a electrical, HVAC systems, firefighting system. These are the BOQs. Now we take the electrical BOQ. In the electrical BOQ, the first item in general is related to the 11 kV switchgear. Depends upon the project. I'm saying about the generalized BOQ. The first item 11 kV switchgear. Then we come to the transformer. Then they come to the generator. So that's why in the generator, that's why we need to refer this standard. So generator, so that's why the generator means we need to refer that 110. If you go to the project spec, or some, depends upon the project. Some project they say that you refer the QCS 2014, or sometimes the project itself they give that some specifications. Whatever, if you refer the generator, they mention the word 110. Even in the BOQ itself, in the Excel, the BOQ itself, they mention that as per that NFA standard 110. So in the BOQ that we have a generator. Then you come to, then we have a LV panel, other things are there. Then we have a light fixtures. In the light fixtures, if you have so many legends are there. So many light fixtures they mention that, but in the, especially in the last, we have 3 type of light fixtures are there. One is the emergency, exit, or sometimes the light fixtures they put a battery backup. So wherever you see the battery backup or emergency exit, definitely we have a 3 hours battery backup. They mentioned that. So that related to this 110 because it is a stored energy. The normal light fixtures is not related to QCD. If you come to the emergency light fixtures, because we have 3 hour battery backup, that's why we need to refer this 111 edition. That is NFA 111 because it's related to the stored electric energy. Okay, come. Again, we come down. Then we have rarely, if you come, sometimes they use the word UPS. Depends upon the project. If there is a UPS, means definitely the UPS having battery. So we need to refer this 111. Or if you come to the ELV systems, we have so many things are there. But in the ELV systems, again, we have some batteries are there. So in the electrical BOQ, we need to refer these things. These 2 things especially is related to the electrical. And mostly the fire alarm system is under the electrical systems, or sometimes they put a separate seat. So the fire alarm systems means here we need to refer that 72. Usually in the fire alarm systems, if you take the fire alarm BOQ, the first item in general, it's a control panel, fire alarm control panel. Then we have few devices are there, smoke detector, heat detector, all we call as initiating devices. Then we come to that some other devices, or we call as notification devices. And the last 3 items, we have interfacing devices. Interfacing with the cam, interfacing with the HVAC panel. So if we take the fire alarm systems, we have 4 broad categories are there. Number 1, control panel. Number 2, initiation devices, notification devices, interfacing devices. So these all the things we need to refer from this 72. In the 72, we need to refer these 4 important things. So if you see the riser diagram, they mention it all. The corner they mention the things. And sometimes if you refer in the riser diagram, they mention the chapter numbers also. Depends upon, for example, if you come to that right now, usually the door they move here. There is a normal things. If you go to the emergency door, we have a push bar systems are there, or we call it a panic bus bar. So the panic bus bar where we are using. So that is related to care. So now these two things related to the electrical, and it is related to the fire alarm systems. And in our BOQ, electrical, then we have a HVAC systems, firefighting systems. In the firefighting system, we have so many things are there, all related to the mechanical. But few devices is controlled by the fire alarm control is the fire alarm control panel is give some signal to the firefighting systems also that. So that way, very rarely few elements we may refer the firefighting systems, but in general, it is a very few things. So we forget about the part. Later we discuss things. So electrical, fire alarm systems. Then another important category. So these things we may refer that in our BOQs. The hidden things are there. That hidden things we call as a 101 and 70. So these things 101, 70. So what there is a chances for the hazards to happen. What type of hazards we have? We have two broad categories are there. One due to the fire, another one due to the electricity. So or engine. So that's why. So these two things we need to remember. These two things is a hidden parameter. So 101 life safety and 70 National Electric Code. So life safety, for example, assume that suppose here the fire is created here. Now what we do immediately, we need to move from this place to, we need to evacuate from this place to some other places. So now we are moving. So suppose there is a fire here. So immediately I need to open the door. So now I open the door, I can be able to move in this way. But the door, what is the door is, it's upside the door. Actually, the door must be placed here. Then only we can be able to move easily. So that information is related to the life safety. And it's it is in the office, it's no issues. If you come to that emergency door, the emergency door always open in the outside. So we are not able to open like this. The door all because due to the fire, what will happen? I'm moving in this direction only. The door always moving in the direction. In this direction. That's why the door must be open like this. And number two, the door must be open 90 degree, not 30 degree, 60 degree, because the area is reduced. If the door is open 90 degree means we have so much area we can able to move fast. So the door must be open in the exactly 90 degree. That information we refer to that National Life Safety Code. Suppose due to the fire, the electricity may fail. We are not able to move where to move, where there is an exit. So that's why they must provide the exit light here. Then only we can able to know it is a door. So that information we need to refer the life safety. So the exit light is there because due to the power failure, due to the fire, the power is failure. So the lamp does not glow, but the exit light must glow. That's why we go for the stored energy systems. The emergency, so that is a 3 hours backup time. So there is a battery backup means one fine time all the energy may be discharged. So we need to recharge the battery. What the time taken to recharge the things. So these are the things we discuss, these standards and life safety. So that's I give small information. So here we need to discuss more information in the 101. And so usually in our office, in general, if you go to the office, we have two doors are there. If you go to the mall, we have 4 doors are there. If you go to the cinema theater, we have 4. Usually, if you go to the colleges, in our colleges, the classroom having 4 doors in general, or at least 2 doors. Here we have one entrance, there are 2 doors are there. That is, we have a 2 entry or 2 exit systems are there. If there is only 1 door means, due to some reasons, here hazard will happen. We need to move from here. If there is a 1 door means, for example, there is a fire means we can be able to move easily. Suppose we have fire here. How we move from this place to the other place? So that's why we need to use the 2 door systems or 2 exit systems. That information depends upon the number of persons, or easy to understand is the number of persons. But if they come to the technically, they use the word occupancy. Depends upon the occupancy, we need to use these things. So now it is a classroom. Here there is a less possibility to make there is a chances for the fire. So at the same time, if we are working in the, we have one store is that the store we have here, LPG cylinders are there. So there is a high chances for that part. So there we have a different concerns we need to remember. So these things we refer in this life safety. So that by this way we have so many things we need to refer here. Then we come to that 70. National Electric Code. So usually in our electrical BOQ, first we see that 11 kV switch like that. So we have a LV panels is there. Then we have DB is there. MCC panels are there. So usually the DB in general is a wall mounted. In the DB at the maximum is operating voltage is 230 volt, 240 voltage. In Qatar we have 240. So we are the DB is operated with the 240 voltage. And in general the DB we have the door, the front door is we need to open the door. All others are closed. So we the same time we come to the MCC panel or LV panel. We are working in the front side and back side. So assume that it's a LV panel. So here we are working, we open the door, we are working that. And here is a wall is that. So there is a distance between these two things. The LV panel and the wall, we need to maintain some distance. What is the reason? Because the LV panel at the max, for example, is 11 kV. So 11 kV means there is high chances, there is a chances for the electric shocks. So that means we need to, suppose the spark is created, the distance, we have some definitions are there. That spark distance is 3 meters or 4 meters. That's why we need to the wall distance, we need to maintain about 3 meters. So usually in our dry type transformer, we have a transformer, substation is there. So we have here we have a transformer. So here we need to maintain the distance. So actually we need to construct that substation room like this, because the surround we have some spaces we need to maintain. So if you come to the generator room, in the generator room, usually if the generator, nearby generator, we keep fire extinguisher. So many parameters we think. So these are the things here. So in the next electric codes, and so these form one category and these 2 other categories. We have more questions from these standards. Let me come again. And these are the other standards. I like it. So we have one group, here another group, here you have. So we have other important question from the QCDD guidelines. Usually if you go to the standard, as I told that the emergency light means we say that 3-hour backup time. But if you go to the standard, they use only 1.5 hours. But in the Qatar, we prefer the 3 hours battery backup. So by this way, we have some information they mentioned in the QCDD guidelines. Because after getting the license, we are approved QCDD engineers. So we can be able to go for that inspections. We need to give the comments. So that's why we need to refer these QCDD guidelines. Some information mentioned that. So in our exam, we have a question from these QCDD guidelines also. So now, so these are the standards we need to refer for exam. At the same time, we must know what are the weightage for each and every standards. So as I told that, we must remember the edition numbers. So 110 standard for emergency and standard power systems. Here standard on stored electric energy. Fire alarm systems. Life safety. And so usually they mentioned in the QCDD, they mention only 70, NFE 70 alone. But we need to refer all these three standards. 70 National Electric Code, see the number. 70B, so 70P exclusively for the electrical equipment maintenance and 70E exclusively for the safety in the workplace. Usually what we told, easy to understand, it is for the equipment, this is for the workers or human being. Here all related to safety of ours. It is safety for the equipment. It is a generalized information. So here all related to the easy to understand. If you are working in the MMUP project, simply we order the coverall. That is jacket is enough. If you go to the Q companies, we must use the entire coverall. And if you enter in that specific LV panel, some methods means we need to pour more PPE systems are there. So that for these things. As I told, we have 40 questions they asked in that exam. It's a tentative statistics information. Don't think that everyone having the same questions. One engineer may have a 4 questions from the 72, other engineer may have a 5 questions. It's a general statistics. This question is based on my experience. So as I told that we have a 40 questions are there, and I told 8 questions from the general topic. So by referring that 110 and 111, we have here 8 questions they may ask that. And note that from this table, I simply used the word questions. What are the questions they ask? I will tell later. So here, so by referring these 2 standards, we have only 8 questions. But by referring the 72, we have here 12 questions are there. So here we have 12 questions. Here we have here 8 questions. Then actually this 12 plus 8 plus 2 we are using in the daily life. In our daily life, that is daily life means we are seeing the BOQ, project specs, diagrams or QCDD guidelines. So that's why this 12 plus 8 plus 2 we may familiar with the daily life. At least we know here the words. But all others are hidden things. So 70 we have 4 questions, 101 we have 4 questions, 3, 4, 5,000, and so this is the question pattern. And other thing, this standard put together approximately 100 plus pages are there. But this is approximately 400 plus pages are there. So here it is more than the 5,000 is more than 500 pages. All other standards are more than 500 plus pages are there. So usually what we do, if you are referring the 500 pages, we have only 4 questions. By referring the 100 pages, we may get the 8 questions. But fire alarm systems, even though we are in our daily life, we are using these things. That's why we need to. Another thing, we have high chances are that if you refer this NFA 72, there is a high chances to get attend the answers. So that's why what I suggest that we must refer these things, these and this is too important, because these are the daily life we are using these things. At the same time, which is helped after getting the license, we need to refer these things. Okay. So this is one part. How to get the license. In other word, so out of 40 questions, they have asked these standards, NFA standards. For example, as I told that NFA 110, you refer the emergency standby for systems, because we are using these things. NFA 37, fire extinguishers, we are using. What is the standard for the fire extinguishers? They may ask the question. But there is not by God the questions. Usually, note that it's a previous edition, but we need to refer that latest edition. Just I saw that. Usually all the standards, the chapter 2, the second, we have a different, all the NFA standards, they mention that. So there is no need to by God the standards. So we must know in the which area the standard they mention that. So in other words, easy to understand. For example, in our colleges, the professor gave an assignment to you. Write here EMF equation for the transformer. You may refer the book. You go to the library, you may refer anything, but we need to write that EMF equation for the transformer. So what we do, we need to go to the library and we pick the book and we write the EMF equation, then we submit the assignment. Okay. Now, first we need to go to the library. So first, as a student, we must know in the library where is located, whether east side or north side. Then only we can be able to go to the library. So first thing, we must know the library, where is library is located. Then we go to the library. What we do? We don't enter the library. We have a very big halls are there. So we have first rack is there, second row, third row. We have so many things are there. So usually the first row we have a first year, because first year is a common subject. Second row is related to for the mechanical, and the third row is for the electrical. By this way, they mention the different rows. Correct? Then suppose we go to that electrical. In electrical, we have so many compartments are there. First compartment, third semester book, fourth semester book, fifth semester. By this way, all the books are mentioned that. So now the first we must know the transformer. So which means it's related to the third semester or fourth semester. We must know the things. Then only we can be able to go. First we must know it's a electrical subject. Then we must know it's a third semester or fourth semester. It's a fourth semester. Now I come to the fourth semester. In the fourth semester, in the top, we have a circuit theory. For example, electric circuit, transmission, distribution, electrical machines. So many subjects are there. So each and every row we have that. Now it's electrical machines. So now we go to that third row. We pick the book. Now we pick the electrical machines book. Then we need to open the chapter. In the index, first we have a constructions are there. Everyone know that, because usually if we take the book, the first chapter related to the construction. The second chapter related to the EMF equation. The last related to the testing and commissioning. So that information we must know that. There is no need to by God the equation. So now we pick the transformer book and open the page. The transformer third chapter. In the third chapter, we check that 5 pages or 10 pages are there. Thereby we can be able to get the answer. Similarly, for example, For example, they ask this question. NFA, actually the question like this. They put the underline, comma, standard for installation of air conditioned ventilation system, which is the NFA standard. We need to write the number. So first thing, where we find this NFA standard? In general, if you go to the all 110 or 111 or 72, 70, any standards, if you go to the secondary chapter, in the secondary chapter, it is a referred publications. Chapter 2 is a referred publications. In the referred publications, we have a NFA standards are there. So in this standard, we need to find the question. We will find the answers. Standard for installation of air conditioning and ventilation systems. So NFA 90A. So there you want to by got the numbers. But we need to refer which standard we need to refer, which chapter we need to find. That information we must know that. Suppose we have one question. For example, they ask about the testing frequency for the heat detector. They ask one question. So immediately we come to our mind. So testing frequency for the heat detector. So we must know that heat detector means is related to the 72 standard. So now we need to go to the 72 standard. So now we go to that 72. So it is a 2019 standard. So now we come to the NFA 72 standard. Now we need to, what the question? Testing frequency for the heat detector. So first we must know the chapter number. So usually the testing they refer at chapter 14. So then we go to note that here we are able to use the control F. So that's why we need to move here and there. So it's a 12. So now come down. 17. So now we have table is there and we see that words. Okay, this is the. Now we go to the standard. So 14.4.3.2 is a testing. So we must read the questions carefully, whether they ask the testing frequency or inspection frequency, because this 3.2 is a testing frequency. So 3 point is a inspection, visual inspection frequency. So we must refer the exact table. So that's why I told that. So we have every engineers, we have a question from the NFA standard. Minimum they ask the 2 standards. So simply out of 40 questions, simply refer in the chapter 2, especially you take the top priority for the NFA 72, because in the NFA 72 we may find the n number of NFA standard, because if you go to the 110, we have 10 to 15 NFA standards are there. If you come to the NFA 72, we have more than 50 plus NFA standards are there. That's why I take the top priority for the NFA 72. You find the answer for 72. If you are able to find the answer in the 72, we go for the other standards. So by referring the chapter 2 itself, you can attend the 2 questions, which means 2 into 1, 2 marks. Then they ask about the UL list. Every engineer is at least having 2 to 3 UL lists are, they ask that question. So UL list, that is like this. For example, they ask about the energy storage system and equipment. What is the UL number? So there is no need to buy out the numbers. So we need to find the answer for the every engineer at least having 2 to 3 questions they ask this. So now to the question related to the UL means we need to refer to 70. That information we must know that. So that's simply go to 70. And how to find that? As I told that all the engineers having this question. So that's why we need to buy out the number. Which page number we can able to find this thing. Page number 697. So 697 we can able to find the UL list. Because default this question asks. So that's why you need to buy out the number. So in this number we have all the NFE list are there. So UL list are there. So you find the answers. Either they ask this number, we need to write this answer, or they give this word, we need to find the numbers. So anyhow, we need to refer this page number 697, NFA standard 70. So thus, just referring the chapter 2 and NFA 70, we can be able to get 5 marks. Out of 70, actually 100 marks, the exam is 100 marks, minimum mark is 70. So out of 70, right now we can be able to get 4 marks. Just referring the 2 pages. Then, as I told that, in our exam, they ask about the definitions. They may ask the definitions means they may ask the definition in the 110 or 111 or 72. All the standards, there is a definitions are there. In general, the definitions, it is referred in the chapter 1. So it is from this. Yes, I told that. So you have the NFA 70. Usually in the end of the last class, I give some summaries. So just referring these informations. Don't mistake. In general, in our college days, before going to that, sorry ma'am, before going to the semester exam, what we do? We have so many papers in our different packet. We have a main paper in this packet. If we take this paper, okay, this question here, this question here. So by this way, we need to refer this page. Actually, we need to refer all the things. This is a lot. This. Yes. By the God's grace, in our exam, we can find you can find the UL list from this standard. NFA 70, page number 697. We can able to find that. But I told that we need to, because we engineers, we didn't trust me. So we take any question paper, we take a number, we go to the 697, we find the answer whether or not. We take a sample, we take 5 different UL numbers. Then you find these things. Because right now here you have in the mock exam, we have UL lists are there. So in our mock exam, we have some questions are there. In that question, you refer the standard and find the answers. So by the God's case, we must find all that, because I didn't read all the standards, because I didn't know all the questions. Still now I received all UL questions related to the ULs. I found the answer in this table. And it is in the last class, we refer these things. In each and every class, we discuss that. Here, this summary, before going to the exam, we must remember these things. The question related to the ATS, then we need to refer the 110, chapter 6. That information we will remember. There is no need to by God what is the ATS, what is the definition for the ATS. There is no need to by God. Okay. So usually, if I'm getting a new project right now, we didn't know the scope. What he told that the pre-sales engineer, because I am a pre-sales engineer. So once the project is awarded, he is the project manager. I give all the document. I told that we have a MEP work is there. That these are actually we have only 11 kV panel, 2 transformers. This is the overall view. I give the team. Then I left him. Then he, after first, he didn't know everything. Then referring the BOQ, by referring the project spec, we have some little information gained. By this way, right now, we have similar informations are there. End of the classes or before going to the exam, that's we read these informations. This information definitely you get the, not a getter, to find the answers in the standards. And so every engineer is having NFA standard, every engineer is having a ULS, every engineer is having some question from the definitions. The definitions, that's why we have some few definitions I saw that. For example, the definitions are related to the fire alarm systems, because again, first we must know that the alarm condition. So alarm condition means we must remember, okay, this is the definition related to the 72. Suppose we ask about that ATS.
So this is a compromised document. Generally, എല്ലായിടത്തും കൂടെ പറയാൻ ഞാൻ എന്റെ ഫാമിലിനെ അങ്ങനെ കാണുന്നു, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഞാൻ എന്റെ ഓഡിയൻസിനെ അങ്ങനെ ഫാമിലി ആയിട്ട് തന്നെയാണ് കാണുന്നത്. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം.
For example, the definition ATS. ATS means we come to the mind is related to the 110. Suppose we have a question from the arc, electric arc. So immediately come to the mind is related to the National Electric Code 70. Suppose they ask about the EGRI systems. Then it is related to the life safety. They ask about the panic bar. So it is related to the life safety. That information only we need to remember. Because we know that the panic bar definitely is not related to the 110. It's not related to the 72. The arc, because it's an electrical parameter, that's why we may confuse whether it's a 110 or 70. But 110 is exclusively for the generators. So it's a common term. So that we need to segregate the things. So we have a question from the definitions. And note that the definition, we get all the standards, and specifically, so that means out of 40 questions, you may have a 4 plus definitions are the asking. 4 definitions are 72 and other definitions from the other standards, which means is more than 6 or 7 definitions you may expect. So minimum 3 to 4 questions from the 72. So minimum 3 to 4 questions you may find in the 72. So see here, in all the chapters, chapter 3 is related to the definitions. The chapter 1 introduction, chapter 2 referred publication, chapter 3 definitions. The question related to the definition means you come to that chapter 3. And so the chapter 3 itself, in the 72, we have here more than 300 plus definitions are there. So we have a 328 definitions are there. Again, we have subdivisions are there. Is put together, we have more than 300 to 400 definitions are there. From these 400 definitions, you may have a 3 to 4 questions. That means by referring only 13 pages or 13 to 40 pages are there. Page number 13. Page number 23 to 34, that is approximately 11 pages. From these 11 pages, you may have a 3 to 4 questions. But it's too hard to find the answer. Unless otherwise, you need to read all the definitions at least one time. Note that there is no need to by God the entire definitions. Because in your exam, they may ask this anyone's definition. Suppose if you read at least one time, then you can able to know, okay, this word we read in this 72. Definitely there is answer in this 11 pages. There is no need to by God the answer. It's not required. But you have a confidence. This answer 100% is available in this 11 pages. You may spend little more 5 minutes, but you can able to find the answer. Thereby, you can able to get 2 marks because the definition having 2 marks. Just simply by referring these 11 pages, you may get a 3 questions. That means approximately 6 marks. So here we have a 2, here we have a 2. So by referring the 72 chapter alone, you have a 3 questions, means 3 into 2, here 6. Similarly, in the 72, we have this testing, we have 13 to 14 pages are there. And we have, out of 13 to 14 pages, we have 2 tables are there. One table is related to the inspection, other table related to the testing. By referring this 2 table or 14 pages, you may answer 3 to 4 questions. Few questions having 2 marks, some questions having 3 marks. So we take a least possible, you have 2 marks. So minimum 3 questions means here 6 marks. But it's too hard to get the answer for the other 4 questions because as I told, we have 500 pages. Out of 500 pages, only from the 20 to 30 pages, you have this. Rest of the pages, we need to find this 400. It's too hard to find the answers or rest of the questions because it's easy, but it's not too easy to find the answers. So by this way, we need to know about the concept. We must know about that where we can able to find the answers, where we know to find the locate the answers. And the QCDD guidelines is approximately 200 plus pages are there. So as a fire alarm engineers, the QCDD engineers, we may use this QCDD standard at least one time we see that. Or if yet now you didn't see the QCDD guidelines, means we take the download the document and keep you in the desktop. Because after getting the license, we need to refer the document. So after getting the license, we need to refer. So right now we start to refer the document, which gives to get the mark. Because from the QCDD guidelines, you may get the direct question. We have 2 questions. some of the questions we may find in the other standards. At the same time, we can find in the QCDD guidelines itself. So that's why the QCDD guidelines definitely will help you. So these are the sample questions. So as I told them, because you need to trust them. So they say that they ask about the standards. So these questions, see that we are called as we find in the QCDD guidelines. Usually in the LMS, we have all the questions we kept here, and in the bottom we refer that references where you find the answers. Thereby you can be able to remember the chapter numbers. So in the last class, we discussed about this topic. By referring this topic, it's by the God's grace, we will get the license at the day itself. And I told that we have a general questions they may ask in the exam. So what are the general questions? For example, we take the so for example, see the document. So this visual only they highlighted shadowed text are there. So how to read this document? If there is a shadowed means it's a revision. In the earlier document, this word is not provided. So in this latest edition, 2013 edition, we don't able to find the visual. But 2019 edition, they keep these things. So these are the general questions. So in our exam, we may ask this question: why the shadowed portion refers the revision? That the rectangle is a delete the existing one or add the delete one. By this way, they mention the things. And at the same time, for example, they mention these terms. Let me discuss in the detail in the class. That is it's a first class, introduction class, just where it is here, because by attending these classes, you have a confidence. Okay, we can be able to get the license easily. For example, SIG, HOG, what this refers? So each and every they mention these terms. The chapter 70, these are the technical committee. By this way, they mention that each chapters are combination of some chapters. They mention the technical committee. They mention the terms. And for example, 1.2.3, here 1.2.4, they put asterisk symbol. What is the purpose of using the asterisk symbol? If you put the asterisk symbol means we can able to the asterisk refer, we need to refer the annexure A. The annexure A, they give the detailed explanations. They use some diagrams to give you more informations. So the asterisk refers this part. So by this way, Okay. So in general, so we refer these 7 documents 110, 111, 72. These three related to the related to the college days. These 3 is the core subjects. Directly we are using the standards. Then it's allied 101 and 70. 101 life safety, 70. These 2 things refer that. And the third one, QCDD guidelines. And the last we have a 3, 4 and 5000. 5000 building code, 3, 4 is a testing commissioning things. So we take these top 5 standards 110, 111, 72, 70, 101. These 5 standards too important. By referring this standard, by the God's grace, we will get the license in the day 1 itself. Okay. And usually we have a practice. So throughout this, we have 5 different classes are there. Each classes we discuss about the first one. We discuss about the 110, 110 and 111 because more or less is same. The 111, 110 having 8 chapters. The 111 also we have 8 chapters. So all the typical, the same terms are there. So in the first class we discuss about that standard for emergency and handby power systems. Then the second class we discuss about the fire alarm systems. Then we discuss about that life safety, electric code. Then we have all other things. So by this way we plan and we discuss the things. And in general we have a 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. we have a classes. And today the very first class that we have only introduction classes only. In what way we can be able to approach, in what way we can be able to move forward. Okay. So the queries related to these things I will answer. The next class onwards we discuss about the topics. Because you may hear here and there we have some informations, you may have that. And as I told that these all related to the construction engineers, we have 40 questions. And 3 months back, one engineer told that he have 50 questions. So there is a chance that you may, the same day, one engineer told that I have 50 questions. Another engineer told that I have 40 questions. But 1 year back, I wrote the exam, I have 40 questions. So right now, they may change the things. But anyhow, 40 or 50, the marks are 1, 2, 3, 4. The questions from these standards only. Okay. They have 50 questions means they ask that 3 mark, instead of 3 mark question, they ask other 1 mark, 2 mark like this. We have the things. But if you are unlucky, if you have 50 questions, because the time taken for 1 question is time is reduced. That is the only disadvantage. And related to the consultant engineers, we have 20 questions, but the same standards we need to refer. The same, but here 2 hours, here they ask they have a 1.5 hours only. But we have a 25 questions. I hope here all are construction engineers. The concept or the questions are same. And other tips to you in your exam hall, you are entered your exam hall. For example, we are entered. So now we have the classroom is open. We have systems. You take one system. Immediately you open the desktop. Whether you find all the standards are there. If it's not there, you change your table. Because in the first 5 minutes we can be able to move here and there. Because in my exam, I didn't find the 70B, 70E. Because we have a question from the 70B and 70E also. Some engineers told that I didn't have that 2019 edition. I have only 2013 edition. But you say one engineer told that. But it may happen or not happen. That's why you enter your hall and immediately you check the desktop. We have one folder is there. You open the folder and we have so many standards are there. Where the desktop is not exclusive for the electric engineers. The whole thing may take that. So all the standards are available in the folder. You go open the folder, then you find these standards. Whether in your desktop, whether you find these all the standards, is okay, you take this table or you move to the other table. Because we are not able to request the captain, because in the QCDD they ask about they call us a captain. We are not able to ask the captain, we change the table. And it's too hard, we face the person, concerned person. Unless otherwise, if we know the Arabic, it's easy to speak little more, that's all. So that's why it's apart from this technical, that is apart from the preparations, it's other hidden things. So you take the correct table. And as I told, we have some problems also in our exam. I saw the problems, but it's not. By referring this, because in the riser diagram, we find these things. By reading this document itself, you have a 1 or 2 questions we can be able to answer. See, these are you find in the riser diagram tables. They mention that, for example, battery calculation, we asked about this question, 24 hours. You find the same in the NFA standard. See here, these are they mention that. So that's why for the QCDD, we need to refer these standards, especially and so sound pressure 110 decibel. So this is we find in the notification table. In the NFA 72, as I told that chapter 3 is a definition, chapter 14 testing and commissioning, chapter 17 is in the next class we discuss the things. By this way we can, because I am taking the class more than 3 to 4 times, that's why I remember the numbers. But at the same time, the 14 testing, 17 is initiation devices, 18 is notification devices. If you have a question related to the notification device, you go to the chapter 17. By this way, we can be able to find the answer easily. Okay, come to here. And these are these questions also. As I told that, even though I am working in the office, so I didn't know the practical details. But if you are working in the site, especially if you go inside the site, it means physically, if you see the installation, means you can be able to note that is the distance between from the wall to the smart meter, how much distance we need to calculate. If those are sitting in the office, he told that 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 1 inches, 2 inches. By this way, those are sitting in the office, he told that. Those are really do the activity, he told that. 9.1 meter. So in our exam, they ask these questions also. Let me discuss in detail here. As I told that problems means so this is you find in the riser diagram. We have only this problem asked in the exam. This problem having 4 marks. At the same time, so here this type of problems. We have 2 to 3 at the maximum. We have 5 or 6 problems are there. In our exam, we have this type of 6 problems only they ask in that exam. For the 6 problems, we need to remember 3 to 4 informations. Before going to the exam, just we need to remember the 5 informations keep in our mind. That's all. And because we take the exam by using this desktop, similar to the UPDA, we may use the system calculator. And note that before referring the document, you must ensure the edition numbers. So we will take the exam, and that's why we need to refer NFA 72 2019, not 2013. So what is the difference, these two things? See here the first word. So here 54, here 55. 2013 edition, the business occupancy needs 55 decibel. But 2019, they ask about the 54 decibel. If you refer this document, means we answer this wrong. So right now, we need to use these standards. By this way, some points I show these comparisons. That's why please refer the latest edition. Sorry, not the latest edition, because the latest edition means now it's a 2019. Latest edition is 2023 is there. So there is no need to refer the 2023, because we are taking the exam for QCD electrical. So QCD guidelines, Qatar government, they told that 2019. That's why we need to refer the 2019. If the exam is not related to the CFPS or is not a globalized exam. For globalized exam, we refer the latest edition. For QCD, we need to refer this standard only. After 3 years, they may change the regulations. At that time, we will change the things. Okay. Okay. So that's why there's any queries, any questions? Again, sir? Yes. Yes, same questions. 72, chapter 2. You saw that? Yes. Okay. Chapter 2.
Yeah, that's numbers. Yeah, for the evaluation, sir. You tell
Yes.
the first
Yes.
page 76, page 97.
Yes, note that. So in all the standards, the chapter 2 is a referred publications. In the referred publications, they have that NFA standards and all other standards, they mention that. And in addition with that, they mention that UL list also. But here we see we have only few UL lists are there. But if you go to that 70, you may get that all the UL is finding here. Yes, the same, these standards, that is, this UL is definitely you have in that 70. So you have only 10 or 15 only. But if you come to the 70, you have more than 200 plus are there. That's why we have a question later, the UL means immediately go to that 70 chapter. Actually, if you refer this means you find this here, you find that you didn't find the answer. Then you go to the next standard. So that's why you go to the straightly, you go to the 70. So mostly you take the top priority if a question related to 72 means you start with the 72. Okay. Fire extinguishers. So usually, so here, then we will refer that 5000. If you are not able to find the answer in that 72, you go to the 5000. There you can able to find that. These two, you can able to find the answers. Chapter 2. Yes. Actually, here we have 7 different standards are there. NFE 70 only, instead of the chapter, they use the word article. All other standards, they use the word chapter. And all the standards, the chapter 2 is a definition. Chapter 2 is a referred publication. Chapter 3 is a definitions. For common, the question related to the NFA standard means you refer the chapter 2. We take the top priority 72. If you are not able to find the answer in the 72, you go to the 5000. But anyhow, you find the answer in the chapter 2 itself. But there is no need to find the answer in the 110 or 111. There is no need to find the answer in the 111 because it's a stored energy system. So it's not, they didn't mention that. So that by this way we come to the mind. Okay, where we find the answer? By this way we think things. Okay. Okay, you take down problem. So in our home, you say that NFA standard for the fire pump. So you have a NFA standard. So today you find the answer by refer the chapter 2. Whether you get the answer means you have a confidence. Okay, we can be able to find the any question related to the NFA standard means definitely you can be able to find that. Okay. Okay. So in the next class, we start with the standard for emergency and standby power systems. Thereby, we can be able to answer 3 to 4 questions. Okay. Okay, thank you. So in the next class, we discuss, and before closing the today's class, advance congratulations to everyone to get your QCDD license. Thereby, you become a approved QCDD engineers. Yes, right now he told only 2 attempts. Earlier they told the 3 attempts. Right now they ask about the 2 attempts. So usually the 2 attempts means we may. Okay. But at the same time, again, we are working in the construction activity. When the project is awarded, we get the contract document. In the contract document, the first we have a payment terms, all the things they mention that. And the last 2 pages, they mention about the LD classes. If you are not able to complete the project within the time duration, you have a penalty. They mention the terms. Unless otherwise, we didn't complete the project within the time duration. Is correct? So we think in the positive way, we have only 1 chances. Don't take 2 chances. We have only 1 chances. Then only we can be able to prepare well and we get the answer immediately. So that's why we assume that we have only one chances. Or just for fun, in our colleges, we may play in cards. In the cards, we have so many games are there, as dick, or so many things are there. Sometimes we have a compel is that. We have a close to the point means compulsory we need to play the game. Else I will need to come out. So by this way, we assume that it's a compulsory, you need to take this exam. And you must win the exam. So by this way, we prepare. By the God's grace, definitely we get the license. Because it's a, for UPDA, if you come out the exam hall, they told that you pass or fail. Here it's not like that. If you enter the button, immediately we will help you. The buttons are playing in front of us. Okay. So thank you a lot. See you in the next class. That is coming Sunday, 7 p.m. We start with the 110. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you may attend the online also. No, it's not mandatory to attend the classroom. But if the classroom means, you may ask, the interaction may happen. That's all. Okay. Thank you.